Have you ever wondered why some people seem to command reality itself, while you feel like you're constantly fighting just to survive? Do you believe there is a hidden set of rules governing this world, and that if you don't know them, you will always be a pawn in someone else's game? Most people think manifestation is just daydreaming about a new car or a pile of money. But the truth is far deeper. It is the sacred intersection between human will and divine power. Today, we are decoding the 10 ultimate spiritual laws to turn the invisible thoughts in your mind into the tangible reality of your life. If you feel like you've worked your soul to the bone with no results, pay close attention to Chapter 8. It is the missing piece that has been blocking every prayer you've ever sent. Chapter 1. The Law of Vibration. Everything is energy. Everything in this universe, from the distant, spinning galaxies to the microscopic cells within your body, exists in a state of constant, rhythmic vibration. The first and most vital rule of existence is the law of vibration. In the eyes of the Creator, nothing truly stands still. What you perceive as solid, unyielding matter is actually a collection of energy particles vibrating at a frequency low enough for the human eye to detect. This means that your thoughts, your deepest emotions, and even your silent intentions are not just fleeting biological events. They are literal streams of energy with their own unique, measurable frequencies. Chapter 2. The Law of Mentalism. The universe is mind. The second law teaches us a profound truth that most people ignore. All is mind. This entire universe is essentially a mental construct of the divine. Everything we see in the physical world, every bridge, every skyscraper, every great work of art, was once nothing more than an invisible thought in the mind of a human being, or an idea in the mind of the Creator. This means your mind is not merely a passive machine for recording the reality around you. It is the sacred factory that creates that reality. What you hold persistently and emotionally in your mind will eventually crystallize into your physical experience. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change the outside world, switching jobs, searching for new partners, or moving to different cities, without realizing they are trying to fix the reflection in a mirror without ever changing their own face. The law of mentalism requires you to look inward. If your reality is chaotic, fragmented, or disappointing, it is because your internal mind is scattered and undisciplined. You are projecting a broken image onto the screen of the world. Mastering this law means you must learn to be the absolute master of your thoughts. You cannot allow your mind to be like an unlocked house where any passing fear, doubt, or social prejudice can wander in and take up residence. You are the chief architect of your own reality. When you change the blueprints in your subconscious mind, the universe begins to rebuild the world around you to match those new plans. Be extremely careful what you think of yourself when you are alone. For God always says yes to every definition you give yourself. If you call yourself a failure, the mind of the universe will prove you right. If you call yourself a miracle, it will do the same. You do not attract what you want in this life. You attract what you are in your vibration. If your internal state is tuned to the frequency of lack, anxiety, and fear, the universe has no choice but to reflect back to you events, circumstances, and people that reinforce that specific feeling. It is like a cosmic echo. Conversely, when you consciously raise your vibration to the frequency of gratitude, joy, and abundance, reality must eventually align with you to resolve the energetic dissonance. This is not mystical wishful thinking, it is spiritual physics. To master this law, you must become the diligent gatekeeper of your emotional state. Every morning before you touch your phone or speak a word, ask yourself, what is my frequency today? You cannot expect a radiant, successful life while your mind is broadcasting low-level signals of darkness and resentment. Remember, you are a spiritual radio. If you want to experience the music of peace, you must tune into the correct frequency of peace. Start vibrating as if the most powerful version of you is already alive right now. And the physical world will have no option but to catch up to match your soul. Chapter 3. The Law of Correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. This is the ancient law of correspondence. It explains that there is a perfect, mathematical harmony between the microscopic world inside of you and the macroscopic world of the vast universe. What happens in your external life is simply an objective, Honest report on the hidden condition of your soul. If there is unresolved resentment and anger within your heart, your external world will naturally be filled with conflict and opposition. If there is stillness and peace within you, even if a literal storm rages outside your door, you will find a path of calm. This law is the ultimate key to decoding the mysteries of your life's struggles. Instead of blaming fate, luck, or the people around you for your misfortunes, you must learn to use your current reality as a spiritual mirror. If you do not like what you see in your finances, your health, or your relationships, do not try to break the mirror. Instead, change the source of the light, which is your core attitudes, beliefs, and internal dialogue. The universe never makes a mistake and it never plays favorites. It always delivers exactly what corresponds to your internal frequency. To apply this law, start cleaning up your inner world with the same intensity you would use to clean your home. Heal the old wounds you've been ignoring. Release the limiting beliefs your parents gave you, and nurture a genuine sense of self-love. When you upgrade your internal operating system, the hardware of your life, including your physical environment, will automatically follow. You do not need to fight the world to get what you want, you only need to reconcile with yourself. When your inside becomes a temple of heaven, the world around you cannot remain a version of hell. Chapter 4. The Law of Inspired Action, the bridge between two worlds. Many people fall into the trap of believing that simply meditating, visualizing, and maintaining a high vibration is enough to make miracles appear out of thin air. But there is a truth you must face. You are living in a physical world, and the physical dimension requires interaction. The law of inspired action is the only bridge that can carry pure ideas from the spiritual realm into tangible reality. However, the secret does not lie in working harder or more. It lies in acting upon the subtle guidance of your intuition. There is a profound difference between forced action and inspired action. Forced action is when you attempt to manipulate the world through the ego, driven by fear, desperation, and a need to control the outcome. In contrast, inspired action is when you feel a sudden, irresistible nudge from within, a quiet voice telling you to call a specific person, visit a certain place, or start a project right now. When you act on this nudge, you are no longer trying to make things happen. You are flowing with the current of the universe. Do not wait for the entire path to be illuminated before you take the first step. The universe often only lights the next stair once your foot is firmly planted on the current one. Every small act performed in trust is a declaration to the Creator that you are ready to receive the gift. Remember, faith without action is dead. To break the stagnation of your current reality, you must have the courage to follow that first intuitive spark. When you move with conviction, the entire machinery of the universe begins to move with you, aligning resources and coincidences that your logical mind could never have planned. Chapter 5. The Law of Cause and Effect, the Cycle of Eternal Justice. Every action you take, every word you speak, and even every silent thought you nourish is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe. The law of cause and effect confirms that nothing happens by pure chance. What you are reaping today, whether it is joy or pain, is the direct harvest of what you have sown in the past. This law is not designed to punish you, rather, it is meant to teach you about your own power and your absolute responsibility for your reality. You are the gardener, and your life is the garden. The challenge of this law lies in the time delay. Often, you perform a good deed and see no immediate reward, or you see others committing harm while they appear to prosper. Do not let this delay deceive you. The universe possesses a perfect accounting system that never misses a single detail. Every vibration you emit creates a corresponding reaction. If you wish to receive love, you must sow seeds of kindness. If you desire prosperity, you must sow value for others. You cannot plant thorns and expect to harvest roses. To master this law, you must stop playing the victim of your circumstances. Start viewing every difficulty as an opportunity to pay off old, karmic debts and plant new, better seeds. Be extremely careful with the intention behind your actions, for the universe responds to your deepest motive rather than the external form. When you live consciously and take 100% responsibility for every seed you plant, you realize that you have the power to change your entire future simply by changing your actions in the present moment. Your destiny is not written in stone, it is written in the seeds you choose to sow today. Chapter 6. The Law of Compensation, the Reward for Value. The law of compensation is often confused with the law of cause and effect. But it carries a distinct nuance focused specifically on the blessings and abundance you receive. This law states that the compensation you receive in life will always be in direct proportion to the value you provide and the extent to which you serve others. It is a mathematical certainty of the universe. You can never truly be in a state of lack if you are a consistent source of value. Money, love, and recognition are not things we chase. They're the inevitable shadows of the service we have rendered to the world. The secret to this law lies in the generosity of the soul. Those living in a scarcity mindset often try to hoard and protect what they have out of fear of loss. But this very action blocks the flow of compensation. Conversely, when you work or help someone with a level of dedication that far exceeds expectations, you create a vacuum of energy that the universe is legally bound to fill with an equal reward. If you feel you are receiving too little from life, ask yourself, what more value can I pour into this world? Remember, compensation does not always come from the person you directly helped. The universe operates through a complex and miraculous grid. You may plant a seed in one field but reap the harvest in an entirely different one. Never work solely for the paycheck, work for the joy of contribution. When you become a channel for excellence and kindness, the flow of compensation will find you in many forms, from finances and career opportunities to deep, meaningful connections. The more freely you give, the more reasons the universe has to gift you in return. Chapter 7. The Law of Perpetual Transmutation of Energy, the Power of Change. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy brings a message of profound hope. Energy is in a state of constant motion, and it never stands still. Most importantly, higher frequency energy always has the power to transmute and master lower frequency energy. This means that the solid, physical reality you see around you is actually fluid energy waiting to be reshaped by the powerful vibrations of your thoughts and will. You are not a slave to your circumstances. You are the greatest energy transmuter in your own life. Every time you focus on an idea with intense emotion, you begin the process of transmuting energy from an invisible state, thought, into a visible state, matter. This is how every visionary and inventor in history has changed the world. They refused to accept the current reality as final. They used high-level mental energy to rearrange the molecules of the world around them. When you hold a positive vision despite the evidence of your senses, you are continuously bombarding the heavy problems of your life with high-frequency waves, causing them to eventually dissolve or transform into new opportunities. To master this law, you must understand that change is the only constant. If you are unhappy with your current life, do not despair. Simply begin to emit new vibrations. When you change your internal state, you are literally changing the flow of energy in your reality. Do not let the negative energy of others consume you. Instead, use the light of your awareness to transmute their darkness. You are a spiritual alchemist, capable of turning the lead of pain and failure into the gold of wisdom and success. Trust in this power of change, for the universe always supports evolution and progress. Chapter 8. The Law of Relativity, the Perspective of the Soul. The law of relativity is the universe's way of teaching us that nothing in this world is good or bad until we relate it to something else. Every person will face a series of challenges, what some call problems, but these are actually tests designed to strengthen the soul's resolve. This law states that your current situation is only difficult because you are comparing it to something easier, or poor because you are comparing it to someone wealthier. In the eyes of the Creator, your reality is neutral. It is your perspective that gives it meaning. When you master this law, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You realize that the mountain you are climbing is relative to the strength you are meant to develop. If the universe has given you a heavy burden, it is because you have been identified as a strong soul capable of carrying it. By changing the point of comparison, by looking at how far you have come rather than how far you have to go, brings an immediate shift in your energetic frequency. Manifestation requires a balanced mind. If you view your current life as a tragedy, You anchor yourself in a low vibration that prevents growth. But if you see your challenges as relative stepping stones, you maintain the clarity needed to navigate toward your goals. Everything is relative. Your setback might be someone else's dream come true. When you stop judging your life based on the highlight reels of others and start seeing your journey as a uniquely tailored curriculum for your evolution, the chains of discontent fall away. You realize that you are exactly where you need to be to become who you are meant to be. Chapter 9. The Law of Rhythm, Dancing with the Tides. Everything in the universe has a beat, a pulse, and a season, from the rise and fall of empires to the cycles of the moon and the tides of the ocean. The law of rhythm governs the flow of all things. This law reminds us that life is not a straight line upward, it is a series of swings. There are times of high energy, expansion, and visible success, and there are times of quiet, contraction, and introspection. Manifestation is not about fighting the tide, it is about learning how to dance with it. Most people fail in their manifestations because they panic during the downward swing. When things slow down or when a period of silence occurs, they assume they have failed or that the law of attraction has stopped working. They give up right before the rhythm was about to swing back into their favor. To master this law, you must develop spiritual equilibrium. You must learn to remain centered and grateful during the highs, and patient and observant during the lows. The low points in your rhythm are not punishments, they are periods of integration. Just as a forest needs the winter to prepare for the blossoms of spring, your soul needs periods of stillness to prepare for the next wave of abundance. When you understand the law of rhythm, you no longer fear the bad days. You know that the pendulum must swing back. By maintaining your vision and your vibration during the ebb tide, you ensure that when the flow returns, it carries you further than ever before. Trust the timing of your life. The universe is never late. It is simply following the beat of a much larger heart. Chapter 10. The Law of Gender, the Sacred Gestation. The final and perhaps most misunderstood law is the law of gender. This law states that everything in nature has its masculine and feminine principles. And everything has a gestation period. In the world of manifestation, your thought is the seed, masculine, and your subconscious mind is the womb, feminine. Just as a physical seed requires a specific amount of time in the dark soil before it breaks through the surface, your spiritual intentions have a scheduled time for their arrival. Many people dig up their seeds by doubting, worrying, or constantly checking for results. This lack of faith kills the manifestation before it has a chance to take root. The law of gender teaches us divine patience. You cannot rush a pregnancy, and you cannot rush a miracle. Every dream has an incubation period that is known only to the Creator. Your job is to provide the water of faith and the sunlight of joy, while the universe handles the complex biology of growth behind the scenes. If your manifestation hasn't arrived yet, it doesn't mean the law isn't working, it simply means it is still in the womb. This period of gestation is vital because it prepares you to handle the weight of the blessing. If you received everything you wanted instantly, it would crush you because you wouldn't have the character or the wisdom to sustain it. Trust the darkness of the soil. Trust the invisible work happening in the silence. When the season is right, and you have remained faithful to your vision, your dream will break through the earth with a force that no obstacle can stop. Your harvest is guaranteed by the law of the universe itself. You now hold the 10 keys to the kingdom. These laws are not suggestions, they are the fundamental pillars of reality. From the vibration you emit to the patience of your gestation, you are constantly co-creating with the divine. The question is no longer if you can manifest, but what you are choosing to create. Stop being a victim of a world you were born to lead. Stop begging for scraps when the entire universe is waiting for your command. The laws are working for you at this very second, whether you are aware of them or not. Why not use them to build a life that reflects the true glory of your soul? As you leave this video, I want you to pick one law, just one, that resonated with you the most today. Declare it in the comments below. By writing it down, you are taking the first inspired action toward your new reality. In our next series, we will explore the 5 forbidden prayers, the specific words that the ancient masters used to move mountains. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the moment your life changes forever. Stay powerful, stay aligned, and remember, the universe is not just listening to you, it is responding to you. The wait is over. It's time to manifest.